Hi, and welcome back. Now that we've explored the leadership agility model, let's look at a few leaders to make it more tangible. When we talk about examples of expert leaders, a lot of people in my classes bring up Steve Jobs or Elon Musk because they have a lot of attention to detail. My question is always, how were they able to scale their leadership, leading actually multiple companies while being expert leaders? For me, neither of them is an expert leader, but they can dive deep, have attention to detail when necessary. Those two are actually great examples for catalyst leaders. Elon Musk particularly is very mission-driven and always brings up the purpose of Tesla, the purpose of SpaceX when they talk about their organizations. And that drives also the recruiting of great people. Then some people object and say, but those two are not necessarily known to being nice. And that's important. Being nice is not equal to being a catalyst. You can be nice and be an expert leader. And you can be not so nice, for the lack of other words, and be still a catalyst leader because you have the self-awareness, the situational awareness, and the practice to act in specific ways. So always disconnect being nice from any of those leadership types. Of course, I personally like to work with nice people. So having a catalyst leader that is nice is preferred over a catalyst leader that is not so nice of a person. So if Elon Musk and Steve Jobs would not be considered as expert leaders, who would be? In most organizations, and we see that around 55% of leaders are expert leaders based on the Leadership 360 assessment that we can conduct with them, are found in the middle management of organizations. It's usually those people who have just been promoted to a leadership position. But sometimes those leaders even make it to the top of organizations. One of my favorite examples is the former CEO of Volkswagen. At one exhibition, he was seen with a ruler in a car built by a competitor, and he was like measuring everything. And then he was telling his subordinate, you should do this, you should do that. Very much expert leader style. One of my favorite examples for an achiever leader is Steve Ballmer, the second CEO at Microsoft. Steve, in contrast to Bill Gates, who was a technical guy and had founded the organization, was a sales guy. And Steve always pushed the organization to be number one, to sell more, to make more revenue, to do this, to do that. Being the sales guy and driving revenue and profits within the organization, he was very successful when it came to the financials, at least in the short term. But he missed many of the big opportunities. Microsoft missed out on search. Microsoft missed out on social. Microsoft missed out on smartphones. In each of those areas, organizations that were far smaller than Microsoft was identified those trends early on, invested in them, and made those areas successful and became, to some extent, for example, Apple, even larger than Microsoft. To provide you with another example for a catalyst leader, in addition to Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, I always pick Satya Nadella, the current and the third CEO at Microsoft. Satya, compared to Steve Ballmer, is a tech guy. This does not mean that only tech people can be catalyst leaders, but he was the person who identified the trend towards cloud computing. He built Azure within Microsoft with his team together. And when he was named CEO, one of the first things that he did was to go on a cultural quest and think about where he wants to take Microsoft, not from a financial perspective, but from a cultural perspective. If you want to learn more about that, I can highly recommend his book, Hit Refresh. So now that we have provided some celebrity CEO examples for each of the leadership styles, let's move on and explore expert, achiever, and catalyst leader in a bit more depth by using two examples. One will be Amazon, the other will be Google. In the next video, I will share concrete instructions with you with regards to your next exercise. See you in that one.